Hello everybody! Gingershadow here, and welcome back to some more RWBY visual novel with me. Episode 140, I think it is. God, I think we're in the final bit now though. We're here! It is time! The VYTAL Festival is upon us. It's been a long journey to get here, with a lot of me taking extra pass because I started looking at extra dates and stuff. Like, I don't know how many extra things I've done, but like, yeah, it's put up an extra few episodes. But yeah, still like a good 100 episodes going through this game. Some of them being quite lengthy as well. There's been so much, but here we are. The VYTAL Festival. The big, where the finale's meant to be. Originally, I thought it was going to be the school dance. No, it's not. It was the VYTAL Festival. It was always the plan, as I learned later, once I was about 80 episodes into the series. I have no idea. I kind of know what we were doing last time. I have no idea what we're going into at this point, though. Like, been waiting to, like, I felt like, recording a bunch of this together. Today's that day. And the last time we were grain hunting, helping May. And then it was like, I thought, oh, we've got like 10 days to prep. No, then it just shot forward 10 days and suddenly now we're here. So, we're just getting straight into, well, we're not getting straight into it. At least Lavender's going to be talking a bit up about the place first, but, apparently. But, yeah, I guess we'll just be jumping into it and just see what we're going to be doing here today. Are we going to be fighting? Are we going to be watching fighting? Who are we going to be fighting? I know we're going to be fighting because it's a tournament, or at least the tournament's part of it. But yeah, if we had any information about the VYTAL Festival and like the Abbey Arena and the tournament and stuff like that throughout the series, I've long forgotten about it because it was probably months ago. So let's see what happens then. So, a majestic work of shared engineering, the result of international effort and collaboration, symbolizing world peace and unity of the people. A cultural melting pot where lucky visitors can partake in the culinary and recreational offerings of nations far from their own. A gathering place for the flower of remnants youth to test their mettle against each other under the gaze of an excited audience. The Ami Arena is all of this and more. It's a big old arena with lots of stuff on it. And where we get to watch, basically, people in the school beat the absolute crap out of each other for entertainment purposes. For blood sports. Burp. Also, yeah, dog just fled to him, so they quickly cut there. But anyway, one thing is for sure. Despite the terrible terrorist attack of 2 weeks ago, the influx... It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, okay, we cut forward like 2 weeks. I thought we were going to have time to prep. We didn't. But the influx to the fro... Influx to and fro... I'm guessing it's from... the arena... has been constant since the day of its arrival. Wait, what? The influx to and from the arena has been constant every day since the day of its arrival. Maybe I'm just reading that wrong. I've done that before. I've read a thing and I thought it was meant to be something else, but it was actually the way it was. And I'm just reading it in weird ways. Whatever. Just moving on. And with the start of the VYTAL Festival just beginning just behind the corner, excitement is palpable. I always forget this game includes lots of words I don't remember very often. Teams of overtaking the competition have been chosen, and shortly the seeding process will be broadcast live. 32 teams at the starting gate, but only one can reign victorious as the champions. And speaking of which, I see some students. We will try to get some hot takes on the situation, and oh, just my luck. So, Lisa and Jack have got like a thing. But it's not Jack. Okay. Excuse me, but... Oh no! I just remembered! Oh, I'm technically dating RWBY in this, aren't I? So, like, if you pick someone else to the dance, would that be the person you're standing with here? I think... oh, that's the thing about it. Latest update. I forget who got added as a date. There was a new date added. But also, yeah, Weiss's date is getting added soon, but I think it's like next month or something, or later this month, or I don't know. Weiss's thing's coming shortly, so that's interesting. I can't remember if I did all Weiss's dates. Maybe. But you wouldn't have happen to be first years from Beacon Academy, would you? Let's... Guessing she's trying to say it in a very interesting way. Or is she... Miss Lisa? Oh! Oh my god! It's that lady from the news! Yes, something like that. Got time for a couple of questions, kids? Absolutely. Oh, are we live? Hi, Dad! And we are... So, if I remember correctly from the roster, you're not teammates. I don't know where this is going. So, what could the two of you... what could the two of you might be doing alone? Some of the sentences are throwing me out. Just the two of you eating noodles together. Well, yes, we may face each other during the tournament, but still, we're friends. Yeah, nothing wrong about that. Like, even after the tournament, we will have 3 years of studying together left. If we let the tournament make things weird now, figures later. A good attitude to have. What are your names, kids? Wait. You said you know the roster, so... I'm Ruby Rose, leader of Team RWBY, and we're gonna kick some major butt in the tournament. Also, hi, Uncle Crow! RWBY, that's embarrassing. Jinder Cavagus from Team Jade, and I hope no one will get hurt. You're in a contest to beat a crap at each other, dude. People are gonna get hurt. Yes. No one getting hurt, that's a bit unlike... Yeah, see, Lisa gets it. Well, I mean, seriously hurt. I know that it's a combat tournament. We're going to be hating each other a whole lot. And I know that there are some that will take it more seriously than others. I just hope that no one lets it go too far. Combat or not, it's still just a competition, not a war. Yeah, Jin doesn't like fighting as much. But imagine, like, for teams to go forward into this tournament, they have to be the really competitive ones. Because the ones that don't care about it just wouldn't enter, I'd assume. Assuming it's a voluntary thing and not based off your grades or something. Wise beyond your years, aren't you? That's the kind of talk that you usually hear from much older people than you. Haha, you have no idea. Don't I know? And speaking of things that keep us on the guessing, they tell me at the studio that it's time for the seeding. We're now... Are we about to find out we're fighting Team RWBY? Because that would be awkward. We're now going live to 2 very special commentators for this VYTAL festival from the commentator box in the arena. Miss Violet Peach and Miss Glinda Goodwitch, good morning. Oh, they're doing it rather than Partner Black. To point out, Partner Black, I believe both of them do have character sprites at this point, so they could actually do it, but alright, okay, I guess Peach likes to talk. And good morning to you, Lisa. What a glorious day. Lisa's hair. Okay, Peach's hair is still silver. It's a bit worn up now. I can't remember what the... She said that thing, a side effect resemblance does wear off eventually. Forget how long it takes though, whatever. For I, Violet Peach, have managed to convince my old teammate to be my mic partner once again. I only accepted because otherwise you would have gone and do the commentary completely unsupervised. I wouldn't have just been tragic. Anyway, the seeding, we are here to do the seeding. And we have a very special guest for that. Straight from the cutest recesses of her bedroom, please welcome Janara. We're throwing Janara in the... What? Okay, Janara's got the same thought process. Why do I need to do this again? Like, why have you brought her here? I get why she needs to be in the stadium, but I thought she'd just be watching. Why have you done this? What? Oh, she's so cute. I mean, sure, but like she's got the same idea as like everyone else. Like, why is she there? Why is Peach forced her into this? But she looks just like a doll. But why does she have all those lines in her body? She's probably some kind of faunus, my dear. She looks even cuter on screen, doesn't she? Ah, I wish I could record this. You've got a scroll, don't you? Can you do... give us a good placement, Janara. Go, Jade! Janara will be pulling out the names of the teams and filling the brackets in a random order. Me and Glinda call a number from the bracket, and she takes the ticket from the box. And then you have to read it out loud, okay? We rehearsed this at the nauseum. Why are you asking me? First, it's so that the audience is up to speed as well, honey. Also, since you're going off script, what kind of script is give a saccharine smile to the camera and wave? The kind that sells merchandise. If you could be quiet... Wait, merchandise? What merchandise? My adopted daughter... My image rights. Anyway, what about a little rundown of the tournament rules before we begin the seeding partner? Very well. The teams will engage in different kinds of fights over the course of the tournament, all of which are sudden death rules. The round of 32 matches will be full team 4-on-4 battles, round of 16 engagements, and quarterfinals will be 2-on-2, semi-finals, and finals will be 1-on-1. Semi-finals and the finals rounds will be 1-on-1. Okay. Teams will have to declare their fighters for each match the day before. Last minute changes are not allowed. Which means that if, for example, your team member for the 2-on-2 matches falls ill, you'll have to fight alone. A fighter is eliminated when they fall unconscious, leave the ring, forfeit, or the aura gauge reserves go to red. And this year, to spice everything up even more, each match will have special rules. Sounds like a Peach Impact. A special stage, the ability to tag in, special restrictions, the possibilities are endless. With the exception of the round of 32, there are going to be no special additions except for a random selection of the arena. We want all participants to be given give their all in their debut matches. And now without further ado, I feel like a 7, Glinda. I'll go with 0. So Janara, who's team 7 on the brackets? Go with 0? What? Team Amber. Who's Team Amber? Who's that again? No, can't remember. From Heaven. Oh, it's the ones. Okay, it's the ones Ruby. Team Ruby fought at the very start. Okay. From Heaven Academy and Mistral members Arslan Altan, Bolin Hori, Reese Coloris, and Nader Shoko. Cool. I'll go with a 2 this time. Why did you say you feel like a 0? And I'll give you a 6. Go, Janara. What are they doing? What? What does that mean? Oh, okay, are they adding the numbers together? I guess? No, they can't be, because the first one was a bloody 7. What are the two of them doing? Why are they both saying numbers? Let me pick one team. Wait, how do you read this one? I'm so excited. I wonder what team are going to, we're going to fight in the first round. Speaking of teams, how did you persuade Jin? From what you told me, he isn't really enthusiastic about taking part in this competition. Oh, very easily. I really don't know, girls. Oh, come on! Girls, if Jin has doubts about this, we should hear him out. I'm sorry, it's just... If I don't feel like it, I don't think I'll be able to give it my all. And seriously, we fought a lot of people together, but this, I mean... Do you think I'm even ready for this? Oh, that let me answer. You're at least for the team battle. Didn't we beat Coco once? Right. You have enough battle experience and range skills to make you a dangerous opponent for any fighter in the tournament. Plus, you literally can bulk yourself up. Like, I don't see the issue. I mean, of course, if you're not giving it your own, don't do that, then you're screwed. But, and if you don't believe us, you can believe Professor Goodwitch. She has final veto and says on any who apply, and said that it's cool by her. We're among the top teams in points after the final exams. The faculty gave us passing battle grades. All we need is for us to turn in the paperwork. Alright. Let's put that aside for a moment. The biggest problem here is that, again, as I mentioned before, I don't want to fight other people for the entertainment of a bunch of strangers. And, don't talk about VYTAL. That wasn't for entertaining anyone. Certainly wasn't entertaining. Well, it was entertaining us, but that's fair. Then, may I suggest an alternative reason? And that be? For me, please. Evelyn's been rubbing off on you way too much. Fine, for you, Penny. That wasn't very hard. Well, you're shrewder than I thought, Unit. Oh, it was just for the good of the team. Speaking of which, they just called your name. Your bracket number 9. I'm still confused to why they're both naming numbers. So we're in the 5th match in the afternoon. We're gonna need to eat light then. I'll start an elaborate data for the perfect pre-match meal. So, if I may ask, do you have a particular team you like to fight against? I don't really mind, to be honest. Although, I suppose, I don't know if it'd be necessarily good in the team battle or it'd be better in the double battle, but obviously fighting against, the full team of girls that Team Sun originally fought, because Jack had a thing with them. We had a lot of interaction with them, so it makes sense to fight them, but whether it's in the full team or... not really. But all things considered, a first-year team would be the best. First year, huh? How so? Well, while we have enough fighting experience to qualify, I can't say that we're really, done a lot of fighting as a team. And we've never fought another 4-people team before. Or together. True, whenever we fought against 4 people, we all split up. So a team without that same experience would level the playing field, you know? In that point, it's all up to individual skill. I see. The less time spent covering for Jin, the better. Jin is a perfectly capable fighter. When he feels like it, sure. Or he's got dust in hand. He's good at getting himself into terrible pinches, I agree. But come on, he's got less experience fighting other hunters than he's got fighting metal monsters. You're not wrong. Alright, these drills are awesome. That way, I just need to help the girls win the first fight, and then I can let them fight on their own. And as long as we don't get a particularly team fighting oriented team, I'm sure we'll be able to... 1 and 0 is number 10, Janara. Which team did you drop? They weren't doing that. The hell did Peach say at the start? 1 and 0 is number 10, Janara. Which team did you draw? Did Peach say 7 at the start, or did she say like 3 or something? Because, okay, they're adding numbers together, but like... Okay, I'm so confused. Whatever. I guess if she says 7 and she says 0, that just means it's like... But no, you do the 0 first, then the 7. I don't know. Don't know. I'm confused. But whatever. Okay, they're adding numbers together. Number 10 is Team Indigo. There it is! I knew we were going to fight them at some point. I wasn't sure if it'd be like straight away. Like, or maybe we'd get like an easy fight first to get us into it. And then you'd fight against Team Indigo later on. But, okay, are you kidding me? So Team Indigo are really, like, they're apparently one of the better teams because they actually know the work together. Which was shown in RWBY, to be fair. Like, Team Indigo actually did try and fight together and stuff and work together. Team Sun just didn't, and yet still won because via Mercury. Anyway, so off the record, Jin, what's it feel like having to fight against the frontrunner of the competition in the first round? I'd like to think of this as punishment for my many screw-ups, but at this point, I think the world is out to get me. This is, by my estimates, the worst possible matchup you could have had, isn't it? Yeah, to put it lightly. Ugh. Good thing the matches are on Saturday. Penny, Sale, I need a favour. Yes, Jack? Find me all the videos of the fights in the competitive circuit you can find. Ones where the opponents actually pop a fight, please. So, I guess, just do your best. What about good luck? I think we'll need it. Nonsense. I'm sure you'll do just fine. Well, what a vote of confidence. And where exactly does that come from? Simple. Your desperation comes from you considering Jin your weak chain link. I don't share that belief, so I'm sure you'll be just fine. We'll see. I mean, yeah, if it just brings some dust, I'm sure we'll be fine. We felt we had achieved all we could in the professional circuits. Sure, age brackets are a thing, but still. Achievement-wise, there wasn't anywhere else to go. So, when we heard that Pyrrha, the star of the dueling circuit, had decided to quit career and join the Hunter Academy, well, it inspired us to follow in her footsteps. What better use for the refined skills of Team Indigo than for the good of the fellow man? Octavia, we love you, says people. Yeah, but we didn't expect to be picked as representatives of VYTAL for the VYTAL tournament, so we're grateful and excited to be here. They didn't expect it? Bullshit. Oh, then the girls are freaking out. I see. So they have raging fans. That's good to know. To be fair. Right, okay. So Team Indigo were introduced earlier on. They showed up in several date things as well. Like, one of them fancied Jin, sort of. Because, you know, it's just for harms. And yeah, one got in a fight with Jack, and Jack lost. I don't know if that would be considered. I don't know if I technically did that in canon or not. Because I really forget what dates I actually did in canon or not. So... Anyway, I see. Thank you for your time, Team Indigo. And any words for the audience, Miss Gale? I never fought anyone who uses a whip. It will be an interesting match. Oh yeah, didn't she pick a fight with us once? Oh god, she's still hung up about that. I see. Thanks to Team Indigo for their time. Now, our special panel with... Alright, that's enough. So, I'm not going to mince words here. Guys, this is possibly the worst pairing we could have gotten out of the draw. I'm going to tear out Janara's silky hair one by one. Our opponents have spent more than 5 years fighting almost exclusively other human opponents in exactly these kinds of battles before setting foot in Shade. They're highly trained and individually skilled, but they're also a well-oiled team machine. Also, they're famous with a large fan following, which means the entire audience is going to be against them. Not the entire audience, but yeah, about 99.999% of it. Does that mean we have no chance of winning? I wouldn't say that. Right. Now, I have no idea, which is why I asked you and CL to get your hands on recordings of the fights. We have less than 48 hours before the fight, which means it's time to do some serious research. You think research will help us close the gap in skill and experience? No, not necessarily, but if you at least know, you know, what weapons are bringing, team attacks, things like that, they've got their footage out there, whereas they haven't seen all of you lot fight together, so, you know, any age will help. There's no magical training that will allow us to acquire that in so little time, so our only refuge is strategy. Penny, take number 1. It's actually a video file, but sure. Sigh. I love you, girlfriend. Yeah, okay, so there's only one... so there's 32 teams. So that means there'll be 5 rounds. Yeah. Like 2, 4, 8, 16, 30. Yeah, okay, so there's 5 rounds in total. So yeah, there's 1 4-people round, then it's 2 tag team rounds, then 2 single rounds. Right. Okay, so yeah, okay. Thinking it that way, because I didn't realize there was only going to be 1 4-person round. For some reason, I thought it was going to be 2. Yeah, I guess it makes sense we fight Indigo straight away, doesn't it? This will be fun. This is a team that's been built up for a bit, so... Let's see what happens with that then. Jin? Oh, Ribs. What are you doing here all alone? Just wallowing and just worrying and... Oh, nothing much. I was just taking a break. Also, I was trying to contact Neo again. I haven't heard from her in 2 weeks. Ever since the day of the breach, I'm worried. Okay, hold on. Special relationship-wise, we maxed out Yang, Pyrrha, and Neo. In the dance, we did extra stuff with Neo and Pyrrha. So if there's extra events including those two, we should get them. Cool. A break from what? Research. We're going through the tapes at Indigo's fights, trying to come up with a strategy. We took a break for dinner. But why aren't you having dinner together? On top of the need for fresh air, me and Jack decided it'd be better if everyone initialized the information on their own before bringing it to the table, the team round table. Also, I promised Penny I would fight, but I can't bring myself to be in this 100% yet. You don't want to fight? No, honestly, I still can't understand why anyone would want to. That's a lot of reasons to fight in tournaments, whether it be for money, whether it be for fame and glory, whether it just be for the experience, whether because you just enjoy fighting because you're a fight nut. There's lots of reasons, Jin. Obviously, you're quite young, you don't quite understand that. Blah, blah, blah. I think everyone has their own reasons. I guess you don't like the idea of fighting for fighting's sake, or to entertain people. Yeah. Good. I don't either. Then why? Fighting is just a means to an end, and the tournament is just an opportunity. For me, it's an opportunity to better myself and my team in a controlled environment. That's certainly less risk involved here than in anything else you've ever done, right? Well, I guess so, yeah. You can't become a better fighter just by training in Miss Goodrich's class. This is a nice middle ground between that and a real life or death situation. Also, after what happened with the breach, people were scared. A lot of them didn't even go out anymore. They all were hiding in their homes. But now they're coming out into the, to see the fights. To see the future hunters, their protectors, and guardians. It's like, I don't know. I think more than cheering to see who wins, they're going to cheer to see so that we can show ourselves to be strong. Because if we are strong, then it makes them feel safe, you know? That's also good reasons. Very good reasons for the whole tournament thing in X. It's a whole piece and making everyone happy and stuff. I guess that would make sense. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I think it's true, at least for the people in Vale, you know? I know. And it makes the thought a bit better. Thanks, RWBY. That's what girlfriends are for. I assume she would just say friend. I'm going to keep going back to that point because I get forced into the date with her. Making it all the better for fightings to boobas. Speaking of boobas, you're going to be fighting Team Amber in the first round, right? I don't know about two other members, but Reese and Arslan are very strong, so watch out. Although, Reese can be a little overconfident at times. Thanks for the info. Now, want to share some strawberry milk together? Or do you still want to take your break alone? That was a thing. Nice little chat with RWBY to get ourselves psyched up. And hey, Jin's now on board. Maybe now he'll put in full effort into this fight. Because my god, he's going to need it. I'm back. Hey, boyfriend. Managed to grab some grub from the cafeteria. Some, yeah. Also, I'm feeling a bit better about the whole arena fighting thing. Well, that must have been some good grub. Well, I had some conversation to go with it. It also made me think. Got any good ideas, partner? I mean, Jin is one for thinking outside the box. If there's ever anyone who can sporadically just come up with an idea or, you know, manage to pull a victory out of nowhere, he's your guy for it. Well, more like a forceful realization of what our basic strategy must be if we want to have any chance to go in the next round. I'm surprised you want to, Jin. I mean, he doesn't have to fight in the next round, so you know. Hey, for you, remember? I promised I'd help you get past the first round, and I'm going to give it my all. Anyway, from what we've seen in the tapes, holy shit, they're strong. I mean, individually, they're already strong enough, but as a team, they're invincible. They cover for each other's weaknesses, they reinforce each other's strengths. I agree. We don't have sufficient data to judge the full scope of their semblances, but when combined, whenever they were in a pinch, the tendency is always to fall back and group up. So I guess the strategy you want to suggest is we're just going to go in guns blazing, aren't we? No, we're not. We're going to divide and conquer. That's basically just guns blazing, isn't it? You just try and drive a thing through them. A straightforward approach, basically. Divide and conquer, yeah. If we want to win, we have to turn the team battle into a set of one-on-one duels. You have to be very forceful for that strategy to work. Like, you'd have to hold their attention so they can't back each other up. Which means if there's someone who can't hold their weight in it, like Jin, then, you know, then suddenly they get knocked aside. It becomes a 2-on-1 that can be quite dangerous. As a team, we can't beat them. But as individuals, they have weaknesses we can exploit. So do we, but we're not going to talk about that. And what's your plan for making them divide from their ingrained, tried and true strategy? Does it involve dust? We make the first move. Day 201. Wait, oh, that means, yeah, okay, the thing's still tomorrow. The thing's still tomorrow. We're not, okay, it's not time yet. Do you ever leave your office, husband? Good question. Also bad timing. Considering I'm now the disgraced former chief of staff of Fervale, my presence outside among the people could hardly be welcomed. You're a bit petty, husband. I think that spending more time among the people would actually be beneficial for you. But I digress. That's not what I'm here for. What is it then? The list of candidates. You think you're going to have any better luck in convincing Glinda than I did, James? I'm hurt. Heh, not really. But considering the latest developments, we can't ignore the possibility of going ahead with the plan. What are the what latest developments? During the breach, we managed to capture one of the operation masterminds, Roman Torchwick. It was a high-up grunt, but he wasn't a mastermind, unfortunately, and Roman didn't want to be there. He was just doing what he had to do, so Cinder didn't kill him. He's proving quite resilient to interrogation, but yesterday, he let something slip. That being, if you thought that was bad, just wait for part 2. Okay, Team RWBY disrupted their plan, but only part of it. That's more that... there's more that we're not aware of. And after the breach, the enemy will be extra careful. With Torchwick being our only source of information, we need to prepare for the worst. So, again, husband, the list of candidates. I know that Miss Ivory wasn't the only one you had in mind. Well then. Are they gonna try and kill Amber? I'd rather they didn't. Anyway, I see. Carry on then. Ma'am. It's a bot. Well, my partner, what's got you so green? Stagnation. Inability to progress. Heavy. But knowing you, it's not for lack of trying. What's wrong? Cinder Fall. I've activated my own contacts in Haven. One husband doesn't know about. You have those? Well, they're not exactly professional intelligence contacts, but I have a life outside of the mission. Really now? Anyone I should know about? No. Now shut up and listen. According to my contact, Miss Fall and our 2 teammates were brought in by Headmaster Lionheart personally at the beginning of the year, but not as members of the Orphans. Wait, 2? But don't you need to be a team of 4? Yes. The 4th member is registered in Haven as a student, but she's never been physically seen in the school, as far as my contact knows. The paperwork for her seems in order, though. Also has the correct date and the signature of the headmaster. So you're saying that... Yes. If we take what the student and Amber have told us, and consider what and who it would have taken to make this happen unnoticed, I can only think that Headmaster Lionheart is compromised. So he's being blackmailed, or is he fully collaborating with the enemy? I don't know, and that's the problem. To come out against Lionheart, who's as much an important political figure in Mistral as Osmond and Ville, I'm going to need some serious evidence. Only immediate source of evidence available right now would be Roman Torchwick or Cinder herself. But Roman isn't talking, And moving against Cinder, who's under the protection of Lionheart, I need evidence for her too. It's a mess. Ugh, I hate all this hamster spinning. So you're in the same position as Osmond. Not exactly. Osmond's passiveness was due to his desire to avoid upsetting the general populace. My wish is to kneel with absolute certainty. I have no qualms about upsetting political balances, but it does not give certain people protection. Half-assed attacks may lose us an opportunity to purge danger from our system, and put any further inquiry I may want to make in a bad light. I can't allow that. Well, waiting around for something to happen certainly didn't help Osmond much. So what about looking into the past? Alright, wait, so hold on. Right, so then they... Basically, they're suspicious of Cinderfall at this point. I can't remember. Did Amber just out and say Cinder's a badgin? Because, like, our team knows Cinder's a badgin. They obviously don't know that she's connected to Salem or what Salem even is. Or... I don't know if Evelyn that would know about it because they're technically raised as, like, to do missions and stuff. But, like, yeah. Basically, we know Cinder's a badgin. We know she tried to steal magic and stuff like that. I assume Peach knows it by extension, Glenn knows. So, yeah, it makes sense to be looking into Cinder to try and see what her deal is. And then, yeah, okay, they're finding suspicions about Lionheart and stuff. Okay. What is it we're not sure about? I mean, I suppose, you know, technically you've got no evidence for it, because all you've got is the word of a girl who's been in a coma for months. Which isn't exactly evidence in itself. So, okay. Ah, weird situation. I'm not sure I follow. Miss Fall and her allies have been in the school of Vale for months now. I really doubt they've been sitting on their thumbs. So what about inquiring into what they've been up to all those months? No matter how good they can be covering their tracks, I'm sure we can find something you can use. Ah. Okay. It's a message from the White Fang. They successfully retrieved the schematics. Huh? Good. Mercury? This isn't up for discussion. I'm just saying that a handshake isn't exactly me. And if I haven't made any effort to not be me while we stayed at this school, then do it begrudgingly. No one asked you to hug your opponent out of the blue. Just to walk towards them and offer a hand. By the way, ma'am, do you have someone in mind as a target? It'll depend on how the tournament goes and who we'll face. I want it to happen at the quarterfinals to space out the two. If I had to express a preference, I'd love it to be someone from Team RWBY. Why? Why them? After the mess they made of our plans, I'd say one of them being humiliated and becoming the target of a worldwide scorn and hate would be an ideal punishment, don't you say? Wouldn't you agree, Mint, dearest teammate? After all, you're also the reason why Roman has been captured and is currently being questioned by the Atlas military. Wasn't it part of the plan to let him get captured? Not a thing. I forget. Oh, boring. We're the second match on Sunday. I want some action, damn it. Nora, we helped stop a terrorist attack little more than 2 weeks ago. I think that's enough action. It's not the same thing. A Grimm's noggin doesn't crunch as satisfying as a human's being. It's a worrying statement. Nora, that may be the scariest thing you've ever said. For our enemies. Anyway, cannonball! Wait, are we in the pool? Nora, change into your summer suit first. Swimsuit first. Aren't you going to take a dip? Not really feeling like it, no. I mean, I guess I'm still a bit traumatized by the emergency exit from Peaks Lake. Also, I don't really have a costume. Oh, so okay, they've got 1 day before the... Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. We're still on the same day. So this is still Friday, I think. Okay, so decide to chill out at the pool, then. Interesting. Or is it Saturday morning? I have no idea. Oh. What's wrong? Nothing, just... I mean, we still share the connection, and I haven't taken a dip in a while. I must be the first person in history to be emotionally blackmailed into going for a swim. Fine. Let me grab a costume from the shop. You don't really have to. But now I feel like it. I'll be right back. Now, I know for a fact a lot of people in this have got a lot of swim outfits. So, this should be a treat. Also, just want to say a quick thank you to all of the channel members for the extra support, and a special thank you and shout out to our elite members, the Jonin members Austin Quinsonberry, Javis Baker, Afro Kage, It's Ender Steve PE, Tobirama Senju, and Sebastian Ramsey, and our ANBU members Robert Scimeca, Rapids Rogue, Eragon, GoldDragon, Nathaniel Prue, and Akuma. Thank you all very much for the extra awesome support.